Well, hi, we're back again. I'm with Ann Coleman here, and I know over the years that we have all had, most of us have had a wonderful experience meeting Rose Percy and knowing about what her role was in raising money. And this program is about other dolls that were fundraisers. And Ann is here to talk to us about some of these wonderful dolls.
Well, I'm lucky in that I have another doll that was in another fair, the Baltimore Fair in 1864, I believe it was. And this is Baby George. And he carries the name Baby George because he is named after General George McClellan, who was the patron of the Baltimore Fair. He and his wife were sort of the leading lights of that particular fair. And he's a Toffling type with the squeak box in the middle and shoulder plate of porcelain, midsection of porcelain, and then lower legs. And I wouldn't go there because he has one bad foot. I don't think he was in any battles, but his own private battle to have lost his foot. But it's a really sweet example. It's a large example. You find this head very frequently. I have another one that's dressed as a toddler, but this one was a Baby George. And as you may surmise, I've been fortunate over the few years that I've been collecting dolls or associated with dolls. This one belonged to one of the earliest authors of books on dolls. She followed in Janet Joel's footsteps, and because she lived in the Washington, D.C. area, we became very friendly with her fairly early on in our careers, and her name was Clara Hallett Fawcett. And she didn't illustrate her books with photographs. She illustrated them with her drawings of the dolls. And Baby George is to be found in one of her books, identified as Baby George.
So was Baby George sold at the fundraiser?
At the fundraiser.
Do you think do you think he had a wardrobe? Or I know there's some that have fabulous wardrobes.
But a lot didn't. And
Okay,
I think he just appeared like this.
So how big of a selection do you think there would be per fair of dolls?
Oh, I've got lists of because some of the fairs kept lists of the doll items in the fairs.
Oh, wow.
And another little doll from a sanitary fair this is not the exact doll, but is documented in the writings of the period. A little girl is quoted as saying that she went to a drawer and she selected a all china doll that she was going to sacrifice to the cause in memory of her brother. And this is the outfit that she describes as putting on the doll, a little spotted cotton dress with a blue sash. And then the bows at the shoulder would be absolutely spot on for a child's dress of the time. And I've always thought that that was a wonderful, wonderful reminder of it wasn't just adults who were making the sacrifices of their dolls or dolls in general, but children were also giving up their treasured toys to raise money for the Union soldiers. And the doll behind is actually in Confederate uniform, gray. And while I cannot say that he was in the Confederate equivalent of the sanitary fairs, he is the type of doll that would have been dressed and sold at a Confederate fundraising event at the time of the Civil War.
Now, were the Confederates as organized as the North?
No.
So they didn't. Did they have a name?
Because
for their
by
fairs?
the time the sanitary fairs came in the 1863, 64, the war was pretty much over, and he's complete even down to his little pouch on the back. I was hoping I was going to find a love letter in the back, but you know, I just have to be thankful for everything that he does have. He's missing his cap, but this is a rare piece of dolldom. And as you might have gathered in my conversations over the years within the World Doll Day segments that I've been blessed to do, hopefully for all of you, you know that my passion is just as much for the clothes as it is for the dolls themselves. And so these wonderful dolls that have been sent out into the world to help others are particularly meaningful to me.
Well, he's certainly a handsome gentleman with that certainly very skillful sewing, probably particularly since the Confederates were suffering. I mean, even to find the materials to clothe these dolls was probably a sacrifice.
This wool is would be particularly difficult to work with because this is a very, very thick, heavy wool. So and it was probably the same wool that was used in the Confederate uniforms.
I was just going to ask that question if that was the case. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's an important artifact, and you know, if you don't learn from history, right, you're going to repeat. Yeah. So I think that he's just a wonderful representation of people trying to help and fundraise regardless of, you know,
and thank goodness the fundraising events still go on to this very day.
True, I know. It's
and
wonderful.
Lots of important names have contributed over the years to the fundraising events that dolls have been associated with.
I think that's amazing too, because I mean, when you think about it, you know, tell us, I mean, dolls were very important for fundraising.
Yeah. And I don't think that doll collectors realize how many French and American designers have dressed dolls for fundraising events, name designers over the years.
Now you were the curator at the Brooklyn Museum, and there is a sanitary fair doll there too.
Yes. They've kept the sanitary fair doll there as far as I know. The costumes have gone to the Met, and I always said that I really would have liked to have gotten to the Met to be curator at the Met, but all my papers have gone over to the Met, so I'm there.
So you physically did not go to the Met, but everything else.
But I had a wonderful career with many opportunities that I never would have had if I had tried to teach children how to spell and add. I would not have made a good addition to an educational team.
But interestingly enough, you were part of an extremely educational team, because without your knowledge of the dolls and the fashion, I mean, look at, you know, what we're surrounded by. I mean, that came from your experiences there.
Yes.
So you are an educator.
No.
Just not the little ones.
Oh, yes, I educated the little ones, too.
Well, not in math, not in English. Anyway, we digress. What would you like to talk about next?
I don't know what you people have in mind for me.
Well, I mean...
What's next on the executioner's block?
I would think that looking behind us at the fabulous costumes behind us, that people are probably saying, move it along and let's get to the dresses. So maybe we should talk about the
Well, there's, I think, a whole program on those.
okay.
And we've looked at those inside and outside.
Oh, okay.
Upside and downside. And I think it's time to move on. So we'll close it out here. We'll see you
Bye. Bye.
in another lifetime.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.